Yo, people, what's going on? Back again for another episode of Footy Talk. The man them are here. What you man saying, man? You good?
How are we? Is my audio not out of place today, the boys? Are we all good?
Nah, we're
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
We're cool. We're cool.
Is
I can
right.
hear
you.
Is right.
Come on. I'm saying, what you lot saying? How you got a game tonight, bruv? How you feeling, bruv? You lot playing your feeder club as well tonight?
It's just a must win. I don't really have any. I can go on and say a big massive paragraph, but to sum it up in short, it's just a must win, and it's the biggest. Like, don't get me wrong, every game for Liverpool, and it's felt like this for the past 3 years. It's always felt like a must win. Do you know what I mean? But like now, because like of the situation we're in, we're on the way less points than what we thought we were going to be. Lad, this is a must win. There's no doubt about it. Even though Southampton are very good, and I am not discrediting anything they've got, and I know by the time some people will be watching this, the game might be on or it might be taking place. So whatever I say right now might make me look stupid, but I'm not excluding Shea Adams, I'm not excluding Danny Ings, I'm not excluding some of the ballers that they've got in their team, and they've got a good system there, especially when they turn up. We're away from home. We've drew to 4 of the bottom 6. It doesn't look well for Liverpool, but that being said, I'm going to go with the positive side of things, and I'm just going to go with usually when Liverpool need to turn up more than ever, they turn up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we have them big moments in games, and some people can call it luck, and I suppose that's what I'm going to call it as well, mate, because you do just think, like, well, it's also quality, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking of, like, moments like the Champions League a few years ago where, you know, we started dropping points away from home in the group stage, and it was all of our away games that we lost, and we won all of our home games, and that got us through. It's kind of like a similar situation now where Man United are creeping. Even though I don't think they'll stay in there, right now we've got to worry about them. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they're on the same points as us. You know, that's just how it is. They are joint top, and we need to be aware of that, and I'm hoping we're going to go into this game with a little bit of a underdog mentality. Up the fucking Reds, you know what I'm saying?
Kagey, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah. James, Southampton have got their first choice. Keeper missing too, so
Yes.
he's either, Fraser Forster, and he's either going to play a blinder or it's going to be very long for him.
KG, are you ready for this? He's going to play a blinder. He's going to probably come in and he's going to put in a match contender where he's going to go into their first team. They're going to be like, wow, we're going to need to quit. Who did you say? Fraser Forster? He'll be their first choice
Fraser Forster, yeah.
He'll be their first choice goalkeeper next week. And then every week after that. Watch this performance. He'll probably smash it. And it also coincides with Liverpool's poor finishing over the past few weeks, mate. It's been poor. But bar Palace 7-0 and Wolves 4-0. Other than that, mate, we've been very poor in games when it comes to finishing. I can name you numerous. I'm not going to get into it, but it's just like it's one of them things. Even though they've got Vestergaard out as well, which is massive.
Yeah, he's out.
That's huge because at least that could create more openings. You know what I mean? It's just if we do get into them positions, I do worry. But I've also been worried in previous, like Palace. I was worried, and we went on to do what we can do. We can score goals. That's not me concerned. We just haven't been doing it recently. I just hope tonight the boys are just a little bit more sharp than what they have been in recent weeks.
Yeah. Love that, man. What are you saying about your Leeds, bro? Like, your Leeds do what we know they're going to do now, innit?
Yeah, I like them, lad.
Well, listen, since we was last time, we took West Brom apart, just as I predicted.
You battered them, and you did say that you were going to as well, bro.
Yeah, I did.
5-0.
Well, I said 4. I was being kind, I was being generous, but now listen, I mean that was a great game. You wouldn't believe that we'd beaten West Brom with all the headlines that we had after that game, but we did win that game, and then Tottenham. It's exactly what I've said all along, and it won't change because as long as we've still got this squad, we're going to be more than all right against the bottom of the league. But then when you come up against a Son, Kane. It's different, man. And when you're playing Alioski, I mean, and I'm not to single out Alioski, I really don't want to, but he's the kind of player I'm talking about where you have to transition these players on from the club or in more of a reserve role. He can't start against West Brom. He looks great against that team, but then when he's up against a player of top quality, he hasn't got the intelligence to play, and he's too rash, and that's what happened with the penalty against Bergwijn. Whether that was outside the box or not, I don't really care about that because these things are leveling out over the season. Because we had a penalty claim against us not given when our keeper just went right in the back of a Burnley defender. So we can't. You can't. These things happen over the season, but yeah, man. My heart said a 2-2, but in my head, I knew if, especially when the Spurs had that week's rest, if they hadn't had the rest, I don't know. But they did have a rest in the week, didn't they? Because the full game was off, and you could see Højbjerg, Kane, Son. They just refreshed and regenerated for that game, and yeah, man, it went as I thought it would.
But you see your team, a lot of the time, yeah, because of the way your manager plays, there's a lot of 1v1s to be had on the pitch, innit? And it's like,
yeah,
like I was saying earlier, when Leeds established themselves as a Premier League team, like long term, they'll be able to bring in better players, innit? It's a big enough club that they'll be able to attract bigger names. Right now, the players they're working with, Leeds will probably finish about mid-table this season.
Yeah.
And then once they establish themselves as a mid-table team, they can go out in the summer and sign players that are of that standard or higher, and then you'll get rid of them kind of players that are making the mistakes.
Yeah. That's what I've said all along, Rants. I said it the whole time. Even with Rodrigo and Rafinha, those are a year ahead of schedule signings for me, because I thought we'd get them in our second year back. But it's then the players like Alioski, like some of the squad players that we've got. They're not good enough, man. And you can't. And I've said it all along. You cannot keep players by sentiment. Just because they help you get promoted, don't mean you got to stick by them.
Yeah.
At the moment, we've got a striker, Tyler Roberts. I think he's possibly going out on loan or permanent move out. That's what we've got to do, man. When Bamford comes off the pitch, we can't be bringing on Tyler Roberts because he's not. He hasn't been up to it. So yeah, man, we're going to be more than enough against the teams like Newcastle and all these guys, but against Spurs and all these, it's going to take a monumental effort to get a point or something. And I'm realistic enough to say that, though.
And what do you think about it, James? Bro, I think long terms, I'm looking at Leeds and I'm thinking that now when you look at Wolves are an established Premier League team again. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're pushing in and around that area. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Leeds could be in that position in the next season or two. Do you know what I mean? Whereas there's no danger of them going down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're gonna have a decent enough results against the top teams. Teams always struggle to go to Wolves. I think teams will struggle to go to Ellen Road. Do you know what I mean? And then after that, it's whether they can sign the right players to then take them on a level above that to, all right, cool. Like we're pushing for Europa League, pushing for Champions League.
Yeah, listen, Leeds, mate, they've just got a system, especially for right now, and I don't know what they're going to be like in 2 or 3 seasons. It really just depends on managerial circumstances. Will Bielsa stay and can he take them further? Of course, he can if he stays, but, you know, we don't know if that will be the case. So for right now, though, I would not, and I see people like Rory, shout out my brother Rory, but mate, when he talks about Leeds, I do think he's just like, he's chatting a bit of shit because he talks about how he concedes a lot of goals. It's my opinion,
That guy is just doing it for interactions, man. And
Who's Rory?
Rory Jennings. Rory Jennings.
Oh, Rory.
Play to him.
And listen, he supports Chelsea, blood. He can't talk about Leeds. I swear he's Lampard FC. He can't talk about
he's Lampard in all the way. Anyway, on the point. But there's quite a few people like that, though. And I just think to myself, right, so what would you rather be? Would you rather be a team that plays ball? So yeah, like Arsenal at the start of this season, not right now because they're in a good run of form, but they were not attacking, they weren't playing good offensive football, and they were putting 10 men behind, and they still weren't getting the results they needed. With Leeds, they're winning a game, and then they might lose a game 6-2, but then they'll get another 3 points. So it makes one of them things, like they're actually... That's better over the longer course of a season. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, it's better than like just dropping points in every single game like you see a Burnley doing or whatever. It's actually a really good approach that Leeds are taking. They're thinking, right, we're going to go all in or we're going to get battered. And either way,
it's a lot more sustainable, bro.
We're going to go back next week and we're going to have it again. And we're going to give every team that we can a nosebleed. And that is what I said from the first day of the season. I said, Leeds are here to give teams nosebleeds. And if people don't know that, that's just because you don't know their style of play. If they come into the Premier League with the same approach, they can survive. They might not win every game, but every game will be entertaining. And like you said, KG, it's when you come up against the Harry Kanes and the Sons who individually can just outclass your players, but you're still giving teams a headache and it's still good performances, even though sometimes it can be a bit ridiculous, like the United game or whatever. It's still over a longer term, over this season, it's the best approach you can take.
Bro, it's not even just... Sorry, bro. It's not even just competing. Like Leeds, it's not just surviving, bro. Leeds are gonna more than survive, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're gonna finish comfortable. Like Burnley finished 11th last season. Would you rather your team plays like Burnley or plays like Leeds United? Because I tell you what, yeah, the way Leeds play almost guarantees that they're gonna beat all the teams around them. Almost guarantees it. When you play like Burnley and you set up to stifle teams, when you play against the teams in and around you, you're used to setting up to play against Man Uniteds and that, but your style of play ain't necessarily sustainable playing against the other teams that are going to match you for effort. They're going to match you for shithousery. Then what? Do you know what I'm saying? What's separating Leeds is the quality compared to what's around them.
Yeah. And just on James's point with regards to the guy you mentioned and others like him, even Gabby, these guys know that Leeds United fans just reply to any and everything. So even though they say, so even though they'll say in the comments or in the replies, oh, look at this guy begging for attention. By doing that, you're giving them the interactions that these guys want. As soon as you stop talking about them or replying to them, they'll just go away. But because Leeds United are such a fan base, is so easily triggered, they love replying to stuff like this, man, all the time. So they do.
Them man are bored though, innit? That's just what it is.
But that's why Rory and all these guys will continue to do it. So I can't knock the hustle, but I just wish the fan base would just a bit smarter, just to ignore it, scroll past it, and just leave it alone. But they'll never do it. Never do it.
KG, do you know what it is, mate? I agree to extent, but I also think he genuinely believes it, and I think a lot of people do. I think they see the 6-2 results, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people don't in general go for Leeds and try and get clicks. Of course they do, mate. You've seen it since the start of the season. Many people have, but I think people like Rory, for example, I think he genuinely sees like a 6-2 and some of the big defeats you're getting and thinking they're just not that serious. Also, he has got an agenda to hold on to because he said it since like the start of the season, so maybe that might have a slight part of playing it as well. But,
and also with that, James, though, after every Leeds loss, he's guaranteed, him and other people like him are guaranteed to mention something about Bielsa. But we're not seeing that about Graham Potter and all these other loser managers because you won't get the interactions, you won't get the reply that you're seeking. So you can say that he's going to say it about Leeds because he believes it. Maybe he does, but I bet he's got beliefs about Sheffield United. I bet he's got beliefs about West Brom. But let's face it, who cares? You know what I mean? No one's going to reply to it. And to that comment there, yes, left back definitely and central midfield. That's for sure. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, bruv, for me, yeah, when I look at this Leeds thing, it's a lot of snobbery, yeah. It's also just a lot of nonsense because these guys actually want, yeah. They almost feel like teams that come up just need to come up and shithouse their way and survive, bro.
Humble themselves. Yeah.
Where is this come from? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like it's the good old British way of just fighting, do you know what I mean? Blood and guts to survive and shit. Like, and Leeds are coming up and playing proper attacking football, scoring great goals. And bro, honestly, it makes me laugh, bro, when I see some of the nonsense, bro. And the prime example of what Leeds are doing compared to like someone like a Burnley and that. You look at United and Liverpool right now. Liverpool have only lost one game this season, but they've drawn 6. We've lost 3 games and we're on the same points.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? The fact is, yeah, if Leeds win 2 and lose 1, that's better, bruv. That's worth 6 draws.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So what if they lose 6-2, bro? Like you still get 0 points for that. The same way if you win 10-0, you still get 3 points. I don't know why people are obsessed with how much you lose by. It doesn't matter, bro. It's still only 3 points that you've lost, bro. Whereas teams are going out and drawing against the teams around them.
Perfect example is Sheffield United right now. They keep losing by the odd goal. But look at their points total.
2
you know
points.
Brighton as well. Brighton as well. Brighton play good football and look where they are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly, man. So, hey, listen, I'll take it right now because at the moment we're only 3 points behind Chelsea as it stands right now. I don't know about the games in hand, but there's 3 points.
You're 6 points behind top 4, and not only are you 6 points behind top 4, you're 12th, and like you're just sound, mate. You've got 9 points in your last 15. Like, lad, what's going on? What's going on, Kagey? That's so true. I don't know how he does it, you know.
The real Zlatan, man. Quality. He's analysing the game, guys. He's analysing the game. That's what he does. He's always looking for things. And He's looking for people that aren't moving where they're supposed to move. He's looking at things what he needs to change. That's what he's doing when he's squatting down. I promise you.
He's double jointed to fuck, isn't he, mate? He must be, because he must be there 90 minutes just staring at you.
Bro, I'd be able to play 90 minutes if I had a Bielsa's knees, mate. I'm telling you, bro. I'm coming out of lockdown with Bielsa's knees, bro. I swear down, bro. Rehab settings. A man saying here that Grealish came out and said Leeds fans give him the most stick along with West Brom fans. Bro, it's probably, honestly, a lot of Leeds fans just love it. Like, I swear down, like, even the season you were meant to come up and you went out in the playoffs, you know the amount of Leeds fans that were atting me, yeah? Like, saying, yeah, we can't wait till you come to Ellen Road. And I was like, bruv, you ain't even in the Prem yet. Like, these man they just wanted it, cuz. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is, man. Like,
honestly, you know what?
I think Gabby doesn't help, man, either, because Gabby's Grealish's guy, in it. And I think that Gabby, I think Gabby's got a back and forth thing with Danny Mills, and it's kind of like a private joke, innit? But people don't get it. So they think he genuinely hates Leeds, innit? But him and Mills, they're just getting back and forth, innit? Just giving each other aggro, innit? And I think people think it's a personal thing. So now they're getting on to Jack as well.
Yeah, on Ahmed's point there, what it is, and this is another thing, and it goes back to the point about that Chelsea fan that mentions and gets them out of and just draws them out. Grealish maybe dived against us in the Championship, and because it's Jack Grealish, because it's Jack Grealish, because he's a great player, they latch on, and any time they can get on him, they'll mention him and everything. You know, I'm a Grealish man, but these guys will just keep on going at him and at him. Leeds fans in the main are very, very tribal. That's something that people have to understand, which is why Karen Carney, you know, the abuse and everything she got wasn't right. But that's why when she said what she said, if she said it about Wickham when they came up, the COVID break helped them up, she'd be going about her business, no problem. But because she said it about, because she said it about Leeds, you're gonna you unintentionally, which it was. She didn't do it intentionally. It was just a lazy comment she made. She woke in all the older people that beat their chest saying get back in the kitchen, which is wrong, by the way, and I want to make that clear on this show. But you can't, when you talk about Leeds, you're gonna get a reaction, and that's what a lot of people like Gabby, like that Rory, no, but unintentionally as well. If you do something against Leeds, that's how you get attention too. So you know.
Nah, 100%, bro. And like this guy, like, is spot on. Like, the reason why Leeds lose to the bigger teams is not because of their style of play, it's because they can't match them for quality.
Yeah.
That's just what it is, bro. Like, their style of play is sustainable, bro. It's just that they don't have the players, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you go into teams, like, for instance, when you look at the German league and you look at the Spanish league, the reason why I say the Premier League is the hardest league, and the most competitive league, is that these guys give you so many different looks, bro. Like, you can come up against so many different styles, in one league. When you go to Spain, everyone wants to play sexy football apart from Atletico. They're like the black cats of like the Spanish league, where them man are happy to stink the place out and nick it 1-0. But everyone else wants to play great football. Do you know what I mean? You go to Celta Vigo, you go to Elche, all these guys want to play nice little two-touch football. When they come up against individuals better than them, they get spanked. That's why you see 9-0s and that all the time. Same happens in the Bundesliga. Everyone wants to play it safe, like high press, high line, nice football. Yeah, that's cool, innit? But when you come to the Prem, you're going to come up against shit houses. You're going to come against 2 up front, 1 up front. I mean, pace everywhere. Do you know what I mean? It's just mad, bro. You don't know what you're going to come up against. And because there's so many different styles, you have to prepare for loads of different things, bro. Like, if Bielsa was playing with these Leeds players, in Germany, bro, man would probably be in the top 3 in the league, bro. You know, like that. Like, bro, just like that. With the same man, you know.
Like
that's
do you know?
Just before, sorry, James, just before you go, just so I remember. It goes on to your game, actually, because the game versus Newcastle, where Newcastle were getting so much praise for the way they were playing. Newcastle hardly did anything in that game, but they were being praised for their setup and their style of play. That for me, you should not be praising that. But that's the problem in this country. Unless you're playing regular old boring football like the Longstaff brothers and all these guys, they don't like it. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to commentate on it. They don't know how to analyze it because it's just so out there for these people. But yeah, go ahead, James.
I was going to just talk about how I think Rafinha's just an absolute baller, mate. Like, I look at him every time I watch Leeds and I just think, yeah, mate, you're another level. But on that point that you've just made, I saw that about Paul Pogba the other day, how they weren't talking about him as much. And I'm just thinking to myself, didn't you see the way he actually played, though? Like, in that 90
him and
minutes of
Grealish
football?
dominated that game.
Listen, mate, you're right. That's it. Because you saw them two were just like, because when them two are there, mate, Grealish is there week in, week out for Villa. He's their standout man. That's the one you need to watch out for. Paul Pogba, when he turns up, you don't like. No, not many players stand a chance because the team just works when Paul Pogba's there, and it's like one of them case scenarios now where Man United. The pundits who were talking about Man United and who were talking about Paul Pogba or not talking about Paul Pogba when they should be. So, like you mentioned about that point, it's like loads of pundits do it in many different cases, and it's wrong, but that's just the way it is. That's why we're here.
Yeah, they only talk about him though when they've got something negative to say in it. But that's the beautiful thing about Paul Pogba is that it doesn't matter. Like he played left midfield in that game, and he's been released further forward. In the last few games, and he's our informed player at the moment. Last 4 or 5 games, he's been our best player in pretty much every game. Eric Bailly put in a sensational block at the end of the game, and Eric Bailly's up there for a couple good performances. But Pogba's been our best player for the last 4 or 5 games because he's playing more advanced now, finally, and you're not hearing about it. You're not hearing about it.
Hey, case in point with Pogba as well. You know the other week when he played that ball through. I think it was against Sheffield United. Don't quote me on this, but they were wondering if he actually meant it. But then when Bruno deflected that ball into Rashford, he meant that pass. and this is a Bruno versus Pogba thing because you know don't put the players up against each other. It's about the punditry bias I'm talking about. How did Bruno mean that quick touch through to Rashford, but Pogba didn't mean that ball over the top? It's just mad. That's why I hardly listen to the commentary these days, man. It's just poor.
All right, James, super chat.
Hello. So, James, are you hoping Thiago starts today, or do you want him to be eased back in? Nah, start him now. Listen, no easing back in for players at that level, mate. If he's ready, if he's fit, if he's being passed, you start him. And also, this team, I think needs, even though it's still really good and whatnot, sometimes it does need that sort of addition back in. Even over the years, like a player coming back into the team from an injury has always lifted the team and you've seen it in results, you've seen it in performance. I feel like you saw it in the last game. He came on and he just made a difference straight away. That's what he's going to bring for if you start him for 90 minutes. Southampton are a difficult team. So what you want to do, get someone who can just break them in half by himself, make it easier for the rest of the players. Because when Thiago's on the pitch, mate, you just need to be in your position, and then the ball will get to you if you're in a good enough position, and he'll create space. He's very good at reading the game, and that's why I want to see him. And it's about time we see him start, man. Bloody hell, it's the new year. Come on, let's start off this new year with a bang and get Thiago in there. Elite baller, mate. Another level. Different gravy.
What are you saying, KG? For me, if man's fit enough to be on the bench, then he's fit enough to be started and taken off.
Yeah. You got to start him, man. You guys need a boost. I said it. The thing was, I said at the start of the season, you guys needed a couple of new signings because things were looking a bit stale, right? And he's somebody that give you that injury, give you that boost. So yeah, man. If he's fit now, start him. And if you need to take him off, take him off. Do the Ndombele thing. Do that. You know, do the James Maddison thing. You know, because I saw Lee Chappie on there. If James Maddison could just maintain his fitness, man, they'd be so much more dangerous if he could stay on for 90 minutes.
Would you say they're contenders at the moment? They're 1 point off us.
The way that Leicester play is sustainable. So they're contenders. I don't know if they're going to win it, but yeah, contenders for sure. The way that Leicester play is very sustainable.
Yep.
Facts.
What's your thoughts on Buendia, bruv? Loads of the Arsenal been linked with him. Is he as good as these men are saying, or what?
I think with the Arsenal thing, I don't know if that would be the right move. I think that if he's to come back into the Prem, it needs to be a bit lower. Only because I know about all his stats about making big chances last year. I know they only had Pookie up front, but he still went missing in a lot of games. Like, and for me, he did this before in the Championship. He looked amazing, and that's why when he went up to the Prem, people thought he just adapt. But he's doing it again in the Champ. I don't know. I don't think Arsenal's probably the right level. I think it may be a bit low down. Maybe even at Leeds or something like that. Blended somewhere else like that. But I don't know if you're going for top 4 or European. I don't know at this point. I don't think so, for me personally.
What about you, James? You see much of him?
I'm not going to lie to you boys now, but so Arsenal linked with this player from, who is it?
Norwich. Is that Inslee?
Yeah, I was going to say, I assume, because you mentioned Pookie. Listen, if that's who you're going for, and from what I've just heard from Kagey, I just think, why are you going for him? You've got better players at the disposal, even though they might not be in great form. You've got better quality players there. So, does it improve your team? Not really. They need improvements. And I think that's just the wrong direction in the sense that, you're looking towards the Championship. And I understand Norwich are doing very well in the Championship right now, but that's what they're kind of notoriously known for doing. Are these players, can they do it and sustain it in the Premier League? And I don't know if they can, and that's what Arsenal players need right now. They need players that can come in and sustain a team together, because these young players, these are the bright spark for Arsenal right now, and it's brilliant. Saka, different levels, mate. Even Smith Rowe, he looks like that he's coming on really, really well. Other players, listen, mate, I really like. I think if I'm an Arsenal fan, that's the one positive I take out of right now. But don't just rely on that. Still try and improve, maybe even around them. Do you know what I'm saying? Get players in who will benefit them. Guendouzi won't. Is that his name? Guendouzi. He won't do that.
On that point as well, because Emile Smith-Rowe is in the same position as Buendia. And I said to I was on Arsenal podcast, and I said at the time, because he was playing, Smith-Rowe wasn't playing, he wasn't injured, he wasn't gone out on loan, and he just had a really, really good spell at Huddersfield, man. He was one of the reasons why Huddersfield stayed up comfortably. And I said, if he's not going to get a role at Arsenal, send him out on loan to keep his value high, like a lot like what Liverpool do. But now he's playing. I don't think Buendia is a much of an upgrade on Emile Smith-Rowe. I really don't, and I've seen both of them play. So if you're gonna keep Smith-Rowe, you got to get somebody better than him, not somebody that could be on the same level.
Yeah, facts. No, I hear that. I think he's a good player, but for Arsenal to be trying to get to the next level, do I think that he improves their depth? Yes. Do I think he immediately improves their starting 11? I'm not really too sure. You know them ones. He doesn't seem like the kind of signing where you're like, yeah, cool, this is the piece that was missing. Because again, if Arsenal want to get back to where they think they should be, they need better players than him. Do you know what I mean? So it just seems like they're signing another squad player.
Yeah, and in that as well, James mentioned Championship. You can get really, really good players from the Championship. Like, say, if Arsenal were linked with Eze or Ben Rama when they were available, then you say yes all day long. Take these players, but Buendia, I don't think he's there.
I don't want to mistake. I don't want to mistake that, because I didn't mean all I know there's some serious ballers in the Championship. I'm just talking about Norwich, because usually they come up and down, and they've got some serious players within that team, but they just can't sustain it. And Arsenal need players who can sustain performances. That being said, on the topic of transfer news, Liverpool, it turns out that there was no talks with the young centre-back Sven Botman, who we were linked with. If you don't know much about him, he's the centre-back for Lille. They're second in the league right now. Very good defensive stats. He's got the highest success rate of duels won in the league. 6'3", left-footed, Dutch. It made sense. You know, when something just makes sense, it made sense. And apparently, Lille were just creating shit. Even United have been brought into it as well. To basically boost this price, because they're in a financial state right now.
Brother, he sounds like someone we need, brother. If he's left-footed, that's it, you know.
He sounds decent, mate. He's had a really good season. Just joined them in the summer from Ajax as well, so it's kind of like one of them things. He's really done well, even though it's only League One and all that. But it's just frustrating me the way we're not getting a centre back, and I don't know why we haven't gone out and got a centre back, or why we haven't even started. I understand we are probably looking into players, but I really do just have a slight feeling, and I've said it for a while, that we're not going to get one. And I
don't think you're going to get one.
I think we're going to put our foot in the mud if we do so, because that's when I'm shitting myself about this.
You're not going to get a centre back, and I'll tell you why I think that. When I look at your manager, the one thing that I've always given your manager credit for is he's willing to wait for specific players that he wants. He waited for Virgil. Do you know what I'm saying? And if he wants someone, then he'll wait for them. If they're not in his plans, he doesn't really just panic buy it. Like, I don't see Klopp say, oh, you know what, I'll just have him because he's available, bro. Like, usually he has a picture in his head of what his squad wants to look like, innit? He probably looking at it saying, you know what, when everyone's fit, I'm cool, innit? We could ride this out. Yeah, I mean, and that's probably what he's gonna do, bro. If he brings in a centre half, I honestly think the only way Klopp's bringing in a centre back is if he's bringing in someone where he thinks he's gonna start for you lot and stay in the lineup. Otherwise, I don't think he would spend that money to bring in a squad player.
I think he will. I think if it's up to him this January transfer window, and it usually is up to him, he has a lot of control, not full control, but a lot of control. That means I think he will get a centre back if it's fully his choice. But I think if it's up to the club, if it's up to Edwards, I don't think we're getting a centre back. I really, really don't. We need one now, and if they can't see it, then it's crazy because it's not one of them things. We've literally got a midfielder. We've got Matip, who's available every 3 or 4 weeks, and then he gets injured again. Then you've got Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. You can't. How are you expecting to sustain a title race with that? And I don't want Liverpool to become a club that just becomes satisfied with a top 4 finish, mate. Believe me, I'm not. I don't want to go off this hype that I'm on and I have been on for the past few years. And to keep that, we need to get a centre back. That's the end of story. It's not rocket science, and I'm not saying a world beater. Just get better than what we've got. Get some. Why didn't we replace Lovren? It's not hard to replace Lovren. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not a hard thing to do. You got 10 million for him. Go out. You've got money. Why aren't you spending it when you know that that's the one necessary position? Anything else, fine. Leave everywhere else. But you've got to get a centre back. And even the fact we're not even getting one in on loan or whatever, I'm sure there's experienced players. Can't think from the top of my head, but I'm sure there's experienced players out there we could at least look at. And we're not. Yeah. And it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, facts. I hear that. Before we get the Liverpool lineup was out, this chat where man said about the Pogba Grealish comparisons. Anyone that watched the Aston Villa game saw they were the 2 best players on the pitch by a country mile, innit? You know what I mean? 100%. They were the 2 best players, for their teams on the pitch, and they were the 2 best players on the pitch, point blank, period, innit? We saw that, innit? I think, like James was saying about the media, people don't realize how powerful the media are at actually shaping your perception of footballers.
Yeah.
They're so powerful at that. They done the same thing with Raheem Sterling when he left Liverpool, to the point he was getting booed at every flipping ground, around the UK, bro.
Yes.
Every ground he went to, he was getting booed. Now all of a sudden, they've changed their mind, and now he's a media darling, and now everyone's almost overrating him now, because it's like you're allowed to love him now. You know what I mean? The same thing goes with a lot of players, with the Rashfords and that. Like, you're allowed to love these guys now at the moment, innit? And the media do that with players. Remember when we've been singing Jack Grealish's praises forever? Southgate didn't want to play him. Now all of a sudden, like Grealish had a couple good games for England, and now the media decided that actually we love him now. So now everyone's praising Jack Grealish, but it wasn't trendy to praise him 6 months ago. And the thing is with Paul Pogba, it's not trendy to say, oh, you know what, United haven't been using him properly. Like, he's a quality footballer. It's easier to dislate him because everyone else is doing it, bruv.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But we've seen it when he's got the attacking license to go forward and that, he's literally unstoppable. Like, Grealish is like that. When Grealish has got the ball at his feet, you can't tackle him. There's no point trying. Do you know what I mean? It's up to him to give the ball away, because he'll win a foul or he'll complete a pass. Like, but you're not getting near Jack. And United couldn't get near him. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's one of them ones with these certain players, bro. He hasn't been used properly, bro. Now he's being used properly. He's clearly the best player on the pitch. It's not about comparing him to other players at our club. There's no player in world football like him. There's not one, bro. When he's on his shit, he's different. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the level of these players. The same goes with Thiago. Look at Liverpool's lineup. There's not a player in world football like Thiago.
Oh, let's be speaking of my boy. He's back. He's back to the starting 11.
Yeah.
But Hendo,
you lot are gonna smash them.
About.
You're gonna smash them today.
You're too right. We're gonna smash them. We're gonna give them a new one, man. You're fucking too right, man.
I've seen this midfield, Wijnaldum, Ox, and Thiago. Ox and Wijnaldum are just gonna run their socks off. Thiago's gonna pull strings, and Liverpool probably gonna score like 4 today. Looking at this lineup, I'm not gonna lie. Henderson at centre back. I think he'll be fine in it, because he looks like someone who was probably a centre back when he was a kid anyway. You know the ones, he's fucking 6 foot and some change.
Listen, mate, Hendo can do anything, so I
decent in the air, he'll be fine.
More than Nat Phillips. Definitely, especially above Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. Listen, mate, I like that starting 11. I like the fact Oxlade's being implemented into the starting squad because he's looked good coming off the bench. Thiago, mate, he's going to run the show. Hopefully he'll give the front three a bit more spice that they might need, you know, just to let them know you've got a baller behind you, someone serious who can just give it to you, and it's going to be great. It's going to be perfection. Obviously, Robbo, Trent, I like the team. I like it a lot. But I'm actually starting to sense something, and this is what I'm thinking. Maybe Henderson is the future centre-back, and I don't like it. He needs to go back in midfield, and we need to buy a bloody centre-back.
But honestly, I just think that if all your players are fit, you might as well play him centre back, bro, because he's still on the pitch, innit? You talked about his influence and how he talks.
And Theo Walcott,
play him centre back and then play Fabinho in midfield. It could work, bro, because at least he's still on the pitch. He can still influence it.
Whoa. Don't take Fabinho out of the team in the slightest. Listen,
no, I said put Fabinho, and Thiago have to play in the midfield if they're both.
Sorry, I know you said that. I mean centre back. Don't take him out of centre back. That's one thing.
What do you mean? But he's not a centre back. Fabinho.
This is why I know. This is why I know you're a United fan. He's our best centre back at the moment. Rants, that's what you're not getting.
But that's because he's one of your best players. But he's actually a DM that can play right back. He's not a centre back.
I agree. He's not a centre-back. I've been shouting it from the rooftops, mate, but he's our best centre-back right now. He might not be a centre-back, but he's our best option. And when you talk about that team, when I look at an Ings and when I look at a Theo Walcott, Rants, let me tell you this, and let me tell you this for free. I want Fabinho there. I don't care. I don't want Hendo and Nat Phillips. I do not want Hendo and Rhys Williams. I want Fabinho and Hendo above anything of what we've got available right now. I'll take it. Good team from Southampton, don't get me wrong. Ward-Prowse, problemo. Ings, problemo. Some really good players, but I agree with you. I think we're going to snot them. I don't even care. Do you know what? If it backfires, mate. I'll eat it. I'll take it on the chest. I'm saying Liverpool 5-0.
Hey.
Holla! Nah, that's going to be mad, That's going to be mad,
I don't think it's going to be 5, but I think it'll be a calm 3-1 probably. You know them ones. What are you saying, Kagey? What are you saying for this game?
Yeah, I think at least maybe 4-0.
Yeah, I reckon they're going to pan them though.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I look at Liverpool, the front three are always going to be a threat regardless. And then that midfield, I just see legs in it around Thiago. And I just think that, I just feel like they're going to have too much, bro. Honestly, I think they're going to have too much because Southampton like to press and do all that stuff. The one thing, though, you need to be wary of, if Southampton do play the two up front, then, bruv, Henderson's going to have to defend Rude Boy because he's not a centre-back in it and he's going to come up against two strikers. And if he does, he's going to actually have to defend. You know, when you play up against one striker, you can get one guy that attacks the ball and one guy that sweeps. When there's two players, you have to defend, innit? Like, it's a different ball game. So we'll see, like, if he gets isolated. If Henderson gets isolated, it could be a long day. But I think that Liverpool are just going to protect him too well with the midfield, and he'll be fine.
I think because he also covers, I know it's right back and it's not the same, but he covers Trent a lot because obviously Trent bombs forward, so he covers there. And whenever he has to do a defensive thing at right back, he does well. Don't get me wrong, he's a sound defender. I'm not trying to say he's one of the best in the league, but he is disciplined. He's not just going to swing in for the challenge. He's going to stay with the man. And I feel like with that being said, with the quality around him in like a Fabinho and other players tracking back, that'll be really, really good for Henderson. And you mentioned about the cover, but like when you talk about the discipline, that'll be massive for him. Because that was the problem about Nat Phillips and Rhys Williams if they did make a mistake, because they had good games, but it was just the discipline at times weren't quite there, and you see the quality certainly weren't there. So at least he's a better footballer than them as well. So he's our other best centre back and he's a midfielder, but that's just the way that we're going to have to play right now, mate. So I'll take that lineup. That's actually really good. I'm just happy Thiago's in there above anything.
I see the Liverpool thing as well. I think Liverpool are going to win because of the last two results as well, and because of their manager. It's all to do with that. I just don't think they would have liked the last two results, and I think they're just going to come out and really go for the throat. So that's my basis of the next result.
I hear that 100%. And these men are obviously loving your guy Rafinha, and someone even put in. I think the real Zlatan put in saying he gives him Neymar vibes or something, and I was like, bro, I don't know about Neymar, but fam, how good is this guy? Because the goal he scored the other day was an absolute joke of a goal, bro.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's that, but then also against Tottenham again. You know, I know we didn't score a goal, but it's the way that he can, he's a true Brazilian, and if you know what I mean by that, you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
He's pinging balls that don't look like they should be pinged, and it's reaching our teammates. Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes our teammates aren't ready for it because he is a level above, and I've got no problem saying that. You can see every time he's on the ball. West Brom did stand back a bit and all that stuff, loose defending, but he was just dribbling for fun in that game. And in so many other games as well, he's getting better with every game. And I know it because I see some of your bloody fans trying to say that you offer 20 million and Dan James for him. You guys are taking
bro,
piss, man.
Let's get it done.
Nah, man.
Bruv, let's get it done. Obviously, we've got
we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
We've got Traore coming in, a Diallo, yeah, but fam, it's a mad thing. It's an absolute mad thing. I think he'll replace Dan James.
You know what it is as well. You know how Tottenham are really struggling with that right wing. It's Son, Kane, and then the right. If Rafinha was there, my lord, they would be they would kill it. They would literally kill it in almost every game. But yeah, man, I cannot complain. I'm gonna enjoy while he's here. I don't know how long he's gonna be here. I'm not gonna lie. If we can get this season and next season out of him, I'll be very grateful. But I'm just happy to see someone like this that plays like him in Alicia, because I haven't seen anyone with this kind of ability like since Harry Kewell. For me, just somebody that can take players on, someone that can take players on, has got a goal in him, provides assists, draws fouls, just makes the people look so stupid. And since Harry Kewell left, we haven't had a player like that. People can big up all these other players as much as they want. They weren't playing at the top level. It's a completely different ball game. Rafinha is that guy for me, and I feel comfortable saying that, and I put Harry Kewell very highly, as I say.
Yeah. No, I hear that absolutely, bro. Someone put up a comment as well saying, what's his name? Thiago's playing the Carrick role in that, bro. This brother, plays like that, bruv, but just with way more sauce, bro. You know them ones. He's got the passing range, but just the swagger he plays with, it's rude, bro. Like Thiago plays like he's got his flip-flops on and he's on the beach. Like he don't run, bro. He just literally just trots along, picks up the ball, and I just feel like he doesn't even misplace passes, bro. Like near or long, whatever, he's just pinging it to people, and he just does everything on his own watch, bro. Like he's a special footballer. Like literally, he's one of the best players in the world. His injury record is just unfortunate, bro. Do you know what I mean? But his quality is a joke. Like even the other game, bro, he was man of the match. He came off the bench for like 15 minutes and was man of the match, bruv. Like literally, he could have won the game for Liverpool. Literally, just from the passes that he plays, because he always plays the pass before the assist. But the passes are an absolute joke. Like James, you must be, bruv. I don't know. I can't remember the last time. Do you know what I mean? That I've had a player at my club that plays there probably since Michael Carrick. We ain't had no one that plays that deep role that can play like that, and it's not too much of what I've seen in it. United's always kind of, we've had like flair and stuff, but we've had a lot of industry players in it growing up. Like we've always been like an industrious team, bro. Before, like we had like Giggsy, CR7. Usually we had one, you know what I mean, one player that was doing the different stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? And but we had quite an industrious team, yeah. Your team are a team full of runners, really, like. And then you've got flipping Traore, and I mean Traore. I got Traore's in my head because I need to answer that question. You've got my man in there now, Thiago. How the hell did it feel to just watch that? Like, because when you were linked with him, I was like, they're not gonna sign him. He doesn't play nothing like a top player. Stylistically, he won't fit the team. And then the guys come in, and he's just different, bruv.
Do you know what it is, Rants? I said in the summer, and it weren't naive, it was just genuine curiosity. How do Liverpool improve the team that we've got now when everyone is fully fit? And I was talking about the starting 11. I wasn't talking about the squad, or you can always improve the squad as a whole. It was just the starting 11. And I was thinking, how do you improve it? And then they brought in Thiago, and I was like, that's how you improve it. Go ahead then, sweet. Because then you realise he's actually coming in to a squad of champions as the best footballer in the squad. Like he is. He's unreal. Maybe you can put Van Dijk on that level in terms of an actual ability wise, but in terms of a baller, mate, Thiago is just different. It really does give me a feel of like, not that they're similar players, but in aspects they are. Xabi Alonso. When you'd watch Xabi Alonso, it was different sauce, mate.
Yeah. That's a similar shout, except obviously he don't have like that Brazilian, bruv.
He don't have the Latino, bruv.
He just doesn't have that, bro. He don't have that, bro. Like, if you're not Brazilian, yeah, then like you just don't have it. Like, you know them ones.
His brother's Rafinha, isn't it? The one who played for Barcelona.
Yeah. They both come through at Barca, but bruv, like, honestly, it's only them Brazilian man, yeah, that just have that kind of thing in it, bro. Like, it's mad, innit? It's mad. It's mad, bro. Like, I can't even explain it. There's not even a word for it, bro. It's just
he started one game and I love him already.
Fam.
I love him already. Like, he gets into combined 11s for me and everything, just because, you know, when he does enter, whenever that may be, he's gonna be serious. And if he can get a run of games, he's gonna be serious. And I feel like if he can stay fit, that's where we can start saying to use in this title race. I really, really do. And obviously we still need to secure a centre back, because even though I think Hendo will do fine today, it's just not something that I want to see going forward. To even answer that super chat he mentions about Southampton scoring, it's like I actually think we are going to get a clean sheet. Maybe 5 goals is a bit ambitious, but I'm still going to stick with it, because, you know, how's that fence that I'm sitting on? It's actually really comfy, if you ask me. Anyway, it's one of them things. You know what I mean, mate? I'm going to stick with it. But it's just going forward. That's my only concern. I wouldn't want to see it going forward. That's it, mate. But today I think we'll be okay. Up the Reds once more.
Yeah, sweet. Yo, like, bruv, man, I'm talking about Diallo, Traore, whatever you man want to call him. I don't know why people call him Diallo and that, but I don't flipping know, innit? Like, the kid, I don't know if you lot have seen him, yeah?
I haven't seen him play, so I can't say anything.
Fam. Oh, bro, he's nuts, innit? But it's one of them ones where he's young, innit? And he's quite skinny, bro. So, man, I have to take it with caution, innit? Like, I can say it straight away. He's better than Dan James, innit? But probability is a very small part of playing in the Premier League, bro. Like, there's a physical side of the Premier League, yeah, that is just different.
How old is he?
I don't know.
Right.
How old is he, guys? I think I want to say he's a teenager. He's 18, yeah.
Okay,
but bro,
18.
This guy is saucy though. Man can dribble, he can shoot, he's left-footed as well. And I've always wanted a left-footed player playing on the right-hand side for Man United, like, just to kind of, because you do want that, bro. Like, in the modern game as well, it's like we missed out on Mahrez and then we missed out on Ziyech, and I really wanted them. And that's why at a time when I was seeing all the Pepe stuff coming out of France, like the year before Arsenal signed him, I was like, bro, we could do with a player like this, because he was scoring loads of goals from that side, but he ain't no Pepe. The only thing with these young players is sometimes you don't know how they're going to develop, because he's 18, but we don't know how he's going to develop between 18 and 20, bruv. Because Adnan Januzaj was one of them kind of players where when he was around that age, man were talking about him like he was dead cert to blow. Do you know what I mean? And then he didn't. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Like, he's a very good dribbler with the ball. He's so saucy, good close control. He's quick. He's not electric, but he's quick.
A good example to compare him to might be Harvey Elliott, who's playing at Blackburn at the moment.
Yeah, he's a baller.
He's doing great, man.
The reason why I bring him up is because he's got pace about him, but he's a great dribbler. I think he's even left-footed himself. I should really know that, but I think that's the case anyway. He plays off the right. He was a massive wonder kid when we signed him, and I'm only making this comparison because you talk about he might not be ready yet. Well, how would the approach of maybe bringing him in and loaning him out and giving him maybe
that's what I was thinking.
A similar like sort of role, because now Harvey Elliott, I want him in my squad for next season because he's gone to a sound league in the Championship. I know it's no Premier League, but he's still gone there with men.
But it's physical, bro. It's a good learning curve.
He's 17 and he's gone in there and he's torn that league up to many aspects. And it's like, if you give Diallo that same chance to actually go out and shine, because you mentioned Januzaj, he might have had a few loan spells, but I'm not sure when he was like, that wonder kid, how many loan spells he would have had. If you send him to a Championship, you can get an indication of whether this player can do it in the Premier League. Because another example would be Harry Wilson. He was going to the Championship and it looked like he could end up being a baller for us, but you could still see there was so many things missing to his game that just wouldn't suit our needs. Whereas Harvey Elliott,
that's what I get from Diallo, bro. Like, what I get from him is he looks like a great talent in it. Like, he's a good dribbler, a good carrier of the ball. He gets his head up, he tries to pass the ball, but there's still a lot of like holes in his game. And I don't know how much he's going to improve under this coaching staff, bro. Not just the manager. Like the guy's going to now Darren Fletcher, yeah, on top of flipping Michael Carrick and these man. And he just looks like a very raw talent. He almost reminds me of like what Rashford was when he first came through at United, yeah, but just the left-footed version. Do you know what I mean? You can see there's a player in there, got a bit of pace, quite weak looking, quite flimsy and that. And it's like he's the perfect little player, yeah, that you give to like a really good manager. Do you know what I mean? To kind of, or a good coach, should I say, to like turn him into something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you leave him to his own devices, he could just be one of them players that's got mad talent but doesn't really fucking do anything with his career. Do you know what I mean? And that's the only thing I kind of worry about with him, man, because we spent nearly 40 M's on him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing.
Yeah. You need a good coach. I mean, I know he's older, but you could be talking about like a Saint Maximin at Newcastle. He's got all the raw tools to be something, but he's got no coach to give him that decision making final end product thing. Yeah. So now he's just a runner. Yeah, he's a good player, but he's got zero end product, and that's not down to him. That's down to the coaches there. You know, you can't rely on someone like Steve Bruce. No, it's mad. But going on to Harvey. Sorry, go ahead.
You look at your club, I tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm just glad that we got someone like Rafinha here, man. Just love the guy. But yeah,
I say it reminds him of Ousmane Dembele. I think in terms of his build, similarly Diallo, yeah. But in terms of his game, I think Ousmane's special in it, like 2-footed, rapid, everything. He's just got horrible injuries, and this guy said he's from the trenches. Yeah, he is from the trenches, but that can go two ways. Sometimes players from the trenches, they get their big move, and then it's like, cool, I've made it now. Family's good. You get me? Man don't really need to, you get me? I'm here now. Like that. So we have to see how he adapts, bro. You know what I mean? Like someone like Eze, for instance, bro. Different gravy. I would have been happy with signing him.
Yeah, but the problem is there's a lot of people saying exactly what you're saying now, but that guy didn't want to move from London. So I don't know. Maybe you guys have got the pull, actually. United. Maybe he would have gone there, but he wanted to stay there as well.
You know them ones. So you would have had Mandem up there, bro. But the facts are, like this baller, like I can't believe we didn't go in for him, but we went in for Dan James, and that shows you, man's like it worries me, innit? Some of the signings that man make, like Diallo's cold, innit? I think that with Diallo, because he's foreign, and that he'll have a good sell on anyway. You know them ones, like even if it doesn't work out for him, we'll still be able to sell him and get our money back on him. Like with a Eze and that, he didn't cost that much to Palace, did he?
No, 16.
Eze's a baller.
Exactly, 16 M's. But if you buy Eze and he flops, you don't get your 16 mil back. You know them one, and that's why I think the Diallo thing was a business thing from United as much as it was. Obviously, he's a talented player because we bought CR7 for 12 M's back in the day, when he played against us, and he literally turned flipping John O'Shea into a flipping one of them little balloon animals, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. And I think with Diallo, he looks good, but I still think that there's so much to add to his game, that he's going to need a real good coach to really get the best out of him. So that's
throw him in right now.
Hey, speaking of CR7, he just beat Pele's goals. Congratulations.
I'm sure Pele's goals are going to come some out of nowhere.
Pele with some crazy shit that gets him above Ronaldo there, mate. He's going to be like, nah, you don't remember the time where I scored. We drew chalk on the lines, mate. We drew it on the wall. And I scored a few, mate. It was a great performance. We were playing McDonald's.
He's about to pull out some caps out his basement against these goat herders, bruv. Listen, I reckon he beat Pele's record time ago. You know them ones.
Yeah, Pele probably got a hat-trick against AFTV sometimes down the line, mate. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll go and claim that.
You ain't lying, brother. I swear down. Hilarious. You, man, smash the like button. Do you know what I'm saying? Smash that like button, bro. We got 1.5K in here still. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool about to play soon at 8 o'clock.
About to win soon is the correction that he wants to make in that sentence, because that will be the case, because I really like that team, mate. I like the fact Oxlade's there. I'm happy to see him back. I think he'll make an impact tonight. I think today could be.
He was very unlucky when he got his injury, because he was playing some of the best football of his career, so it was unfortunate. Do you know what I mean? So,
That's it, because he offers a lot when he's there, especially in this team. He seems to just, do you know when you talk about your players and they seem happy and everyone morale is boosted and that's why the performances are elevated? That's what it seems like with Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's just that Arsenal, that weren't really given to him. Do you hear what I'm saying? He was playing right wing back, and since he's come into the Liverpool team, the role of centre mid really actually suits him well more. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, I really do like Oxlade-Chamberlain when he comes in. Expressions, you're a waste man. Anyway, yeah, I really do like him. Quality. I think he's quality, lads. Love Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's my brother. Does a great job on the socials as well for when he is injured. Can't say the man isn't great at multiple things.
Yeah. Nah, he's a top guy, do you know what I mean? But hopefully you, man, drop points tonight, innit? I can just see Carragher spitting everywhere, like on my screen. So, you know what I mean? I'm going to go everywhere. He's just like, all I can see is just bare hand movements, Jamie Carragher, innit? So, do you know what I mean? He's probably chatting rubbish, but we'll see what happens, innit? Like, big up everyone. Make sure you smash the like. Make sure you follow the boys on the socials. You already know what it is, bruv. Links in the title and all that. Do you know what I'm saying? Pellet scored another 500 goals barefoot, bruv, which he never mentioned. Exactly.
Hey, Rants. There was a super chat on there asking about Jack Clark, and he used to play for Leeds. He went from Leeds to Tottenham. Listen, you guys got haggled for that. It was a great deal for us, because what it was with Jack Clark, he had a few good games, and because all of our games are televised, and there's a big audience that watches Leeds, he got hyped up. So he got hyped off a few good games, and you give us like near 10 million for him. So thank you for that. He's not going to make it at Tottenham. I'll tell you that just right now. You know, he went out on loan to QPR. They were hardly playing him. He couldn't get past Eze or Bright Samuels. So I think that tells you exactly where that one's going.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, I mean, big up everyone. Make sure you follow the boys. Get them lights up. We got 1.5K in here. We should be on 1,000 lights. Mods, you lot need to up your game, bruv. It's furlough season, bruv. Boris is about to full lockdown at 8 o'clock. You know them ones there, so it could be furlough season for the mods, bruv. You man been slacking, bruv.
Yeah.
You know, like
wait there. Just before we go, we sign off. Two quick things for the people in the chat and everything to look out for. Lys Mousset at Sheffield United has been reported to have crashed his Lamborghini. Recently, Sheffield United had Ollie McBurney that did the same thing. He was fined £28,000, and it's just been swept under the carpet. I forgot until someone mentioned it today. So it'll be interesting to see the treatment that Mousset gets as well from Sheffield United, because they've protected McBurney. You would never believe that McBurney crashed a car. So let's see how they do, because this is not about colour, by the way. This is about asset management, because when that car crashed after that derby and they kept the two players, but sat one, and the one that sat wasn't even the one that was driving, it looks funny. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Also, Suarez given the co-sign to Diego Godin's statement about the English FA should overturn Cavani's ban. Horrible look for Cavani, because Suarez was doing a madness, man. You know, and also goes to the point of when we go to other countries and follow their rules and everything else like that. When you come over to England, and you've got to know the rules of the English rules as well, what you can't say. We can't go over to certain countries, Dubai and all that, and do certain things. Uruguayans can't come over here, and can't say that. So the ban should apply, but having Suarez co-sign, nuts. You know.
No, Suarez was a knobhead, mate. He's certified dickhead. Like bad wanker. But that's the thing, though. Like, it's weird the way, because what they do for you on the pitch will kind of make you not forget about it. It should really be resolved, you know what I'm saying? But people can still idolise him for what he done on the pitch, and that just kind of got washed away. And there's loads of things that factor into him. It starts with Luis Suarez, but there's many more things that come into that. So why isn't that being resolved? You know what I'm saying? So I agree with the Luis Suarez. Listen, James, when we came up against it. Sorry,
I was going to say, James, you can idolise Suarez. I mean, it's not a problem for you, but it's when I see, and that's why I say about people that black fans that idolise Suarez, black Chelsea fans that idolise John Terry. It looks so Mazza to me. It looks so Mazza slave thing to me. How can you have somebody that has literally called someone I don't want to swear, a black so and so, right? And then you still idolizing this man just because he played for your club? You should never ever have to, love a player that much that they go over your own principle. Because if someone called you a black certain ministry, you're not going to accept that.
Yeah.
You know
Very
what I
right,
mean?
mate,
So
very
what?
right.
You know what? Why accept it just because they did something for your club?
That's the thing. I was at the time. How old was I when he done that? I weren't like a young kid, mate. I'm not trying to give myself that silly excuse, but I was about 12, 13, and I weren't really into the news media or anything at the time. And I heard about it. Don't get me wrong, but it just weren't one of them for me. I knew racism was wrong, but to me, it could have been speculation, and you know, I just didn't look too much into it. Since then, mate, it's a disgrace, and you know, I will still reminisce at the goals that he scored, and I'll be like, wow, that was quality. It does not mean I stand for that mistake that he made. And listen, if that's any player now in our team, that then it's straight away. I don't want them to play for us. I don't care if you're Virgil van Dijk. I don't care if you're Alisson. If you're going to step over the line of coming here and being disrespectful to a lot of people, Liverpool and many other clubs, but because I'm talking about Liverpool, I'm using them as the example. Liverpool have many fans across the world, so if you're going to use that type of language, you're just offending the people that are supporting you as well.
Yeah.
So no, I don't condone it. It's just at the time it was looked over from a lot of Liverpool fans for the reason he was just a good footballer, and obviously players stood for him and whatnot. And since then, people have came out.
Was he frozen? Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, you're back.
Mate,
you're back.
Right, let me fix this.
Yeah, cool. You said what? Since people have come out, I know that Carragher apologized to Evra or something.
Yeah, he did,
but you know, he was about to listen. That was just all a load of arse, mate. It was all a load of bollocks in terms of how it was handled. It was disrespectful. Everyone was wrong about that situation. And going forward, if there is anything, even if it's minor, you've got to make the biggest situation out of it so it can be stopped full stop. Just so you know, like, not even to try and step over that line, you know. So, should I say this? Just don't even think it. If you feel like it's wrong to say, don't say it. Just say, you know what I'm saying? Just don't say it if you feel like it's a bad thing to say.
No, I hear that, bro. You know what I mean? But I don't know. These discussions, these are not football discussions, innit? Like, the whole thing's bigger than football, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It's bigger than football, and it goes back so far that, like, it's not just down to some people are like, oh yeah, it's all right in my culture and all this shit. Like, until you actually understand, like how certain people and certain cultures say certain things and where it comes from and how deep and how far it comes back, then bro, like, you're not having the right conversations. So that's all long-winded. So we just say fuck it, we ban him, innit? Like, I didn't want him to get banned because he plays for my team and I want him to play. Do you know what I'm saying? But as this guy said, it's systemic, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? The reason why that they don't see a problem with saying what they say is because they've been raised for that, know that's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's the same with like the sexism that goes on, like even the abuse that female the female reporter or pundit got. The reason why she got that is because in society, like, we've all been raised a way where it's like, cool, that as soon as a woman starts talking about football, fuck her, get back in the kitchen. It's all right. It's all right to say that. It's only recently now that people are saying to us, well, actually, guys, this sexism thing, like this misogynistic thing, it's not really cool. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But we were all raised and it was fine. Do you know what I mean? So because of that, it's the same with this situation. Like, a lot of them are saying, yeah, well, it's all right where I come from, and that it's not really all right. You've just been told that it was all right, but it's never been all right. You know, like that. It's never been all right. Do you know what I mean? So just because black people in your country don't get offended by it because they don't feel like fighting that battle because they're outnumbered, that don't mean that they're all right with it. You know what I mean? I'm sure, like, what's his name? Traore, that plays for Wolves. I'm sure when he's around his Spanish mates in Spain and they're dropping the M-bomb all over the place, he don't even affect him no more because he grew up being called that. But that doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
You know, it don't mean it's right. Do you know what I mean? Whether you can say it's endearment or not, you shouldn't be calling me that anyway, because that's you showing me, that you think you're better than me, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're making a differentiation between me and you unnecessarily. Why?
Yeah.
Because what? Because you're superior to me because of my skin color. That's racism. That's what it is. You know, like that. So we don't really need to go into all the ups and downs. It just shouldn't be all right, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? It's never all right. Just because we're not complaining about it, that doesn't mean it's not all right. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is, bro. Like, it's never all right to say to a woman she's talking about football, just get back in the kitchen. She might even know more than you, but you're gonna assume doesn't because she's a woman. That don't make no sense.
Mm.
That don't make no sense, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So the whole thing, like, it's dumb. Whether I say something offensive to you with a smile on my face, yeah, or not, it's still offensive. And that's just what it is. So man has to hold that ban in it. Just don't, is what it is. And Suarez is a prick, but everyone knew that.
Yeah.
You know, like that. So we didn't learn nothing new from Suarez today.
No.
He just showed what we knew him to be always. Very good footballer, but he's an asshole of a human being, but we knew that. Yeah. So nobody learned anything from Suarez today. You know, like that. So the game is, football fans want to be tribal and ignore like obvious things. Like United fans can be, oh no, Ryan Giggs is a legend. I don't care, bro. He's a dickhead. So what? Do you know what I mean? Like, bro, I don't care if he's a legend, bro. What he done will never be forgiven by me and any decent human being. Doesn't matter if he's a United legend. That goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? You're on the pitch for 90 minutes. What are you doing with the rest of your life, bro? That's what's more important to me. You know what I mean, what are you doing with the other, 23 hours in the day, bro? Or, do you know what I mean? 22 and a half hours a day. Shagging your brother's missus. Nah, bruv. You know, like that. That's a mad thing to me, bro. Like, I can never forgive you for that. I don't care how many goals you scored. It's the same with John Terry. I don't care what you done for England as a captain or whatever, bro. Like, what you done on that pitch that day showed me who you are as a person, bro. So I don't really care about your accolades as a footballer. It's not important to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the game is the game, bro. Do you know what I mean? We move forward, but there'll always be double standards and that. But just because people ain't screaming about it, or just because we've been raised to accept something, that doesn't mean it's right, innit?
Yeah. And also just for clarity as well, we've got Kiko Casilla at our club still. I don't support this guy. I don't want to see this guy again, but he'll probably play in the cup this weekend. I don't want to see this guy play again, but at the moment he's at the team. I don't support him, and I want him gone as soon as possible. He shouldn't even be here now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just on ability alone, he shouldn't be here. But, you know, after being found guilty of the Jonathan Lecco racism incident, I want him gone too. I don't care what shirt he's wearing. Get out.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? But big up everyone inside. Do you know what I'm saying? We've had 1,500 all the way through. Let's try and get us up to 1,000 likes. Make sure you follow the boys. Do you know what I'm saying? Click the link, the hyperlink in the title. It takes you straight over to the pages, and you know where to find them. You lot got anything else to plug? I know, James, you're probably doing your match reaction today as well after the game.
Instant match reaction, live match reactions coming your way tomorrow. That's going to be exciting because you already know what prediction I'm going for. So make sure you're there and make sure you're square, my mate. I think that's everything that I'm doing. Yeah, man. There's my plug. Wait, I haven't got a plug to show, but that's
it. Subscribe to Kagey. How far away are you from 1,000 subs? We need to get you there, bruv.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like 190 or something like that. I should keep an eye on that.
Yeah, you need to push that. You need to push that more, bruv. I mean, it's Kagey POV. Like, make sure you look sub to Kagey, man. Make sure you sub.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Get all your Leeds reactions, bro. It's gonna be a roller coaster season for him. You know them ones there, bruv. Like 6-0 win one week, 5-0 lost the next. You know what I mean? This is what they're doing, bruv. It's an extreme sport. You get me?
Yeah.
Supporting Leeds right now, but you get me. Pick up everyone inside. Wait, they're showing some Thiago highlights right now, bruv. Some proper football, so I'm gonna enjoy that. You know them one. So big up you, man. I'm saying, and we're gonna catch you. I'm back tomorrow, so I'll see you then.